Chapter 3, final review. Oh, yeah. The map shows streets in Clearwater, Florida. Nicholson Street, right here, and Cedar Street, right here, are parallel. So I'm going to write parallel symbols on that. Which statement is true about the angles formed by the streets? Well, if I'm looking at this, here are my two parallel lines. And if I'm looking at the numbers, this would be my transversal. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, I don't want to say anything about angles 1, 2, 3, or 4. Because angles 1, 2, 3, and 4 have nothing to do with my two parallel streets. So I'm looking at this 5 and 7. It's asking for which statements of the angles formed by the streets is not true. Well, 5 and 7 would be vertical. So that still makes them congruent. So even though I'm not using the other angle, that's still true that they are congruent. 8 and 12, so here's 8, here's 12. Those are corresponding angles, so those are congruent. 5 and 9, those are corresponding angles. Those are congruent. And last but not least, 8 and 11, that has no similarities. 8 and 10 would be the same because those are alternate interior, but 8 and 11 are not congruent. So D would be the answer for that one. Problem 2. Public garden is located between the two parallel streets. So here is a parallel street, and here's my other parallel street. Now, when you take the final, you can always draw on your actual test. It will help you if you actually emphasize what you're working with. And Oak Street, Maple and Oak Street. The garden faces Maple Street and is bordered by the rows of shrubs that intersect Oak Street at point B. So point B. What is the angle of A, B, C? It's asking for this angle right here. Well, these two are parallel, so I'm going to highlight this transversal. That transversal should help me. Now when I'm looking at this angle is given to me. I have to figure out what angle is that equal to down here. Well, this angle and this angle are alternate interior angles, so this angle is 64. Now I know that my missing angle is on a straight angle. And a straight angle is equal to, that's right, 180 degrees. So I can subtract 37. I can subtract 64 from 180, and I get 79 degrees. Problem 3. What's the measure of angle C? Well, looking at there's a couple stuff that I see here. Look at this angle, that's 60. Also looking at this angle, this is 30, and this whole thing is 90. So I can figure out this angle right here would also have to be 60 because of the fact that these two have to add up to 90. Now, since these two are 60, I can do 180 minus 60, or sometimes people think, oh yeah, if two angles are 60, that means the third angle has to be 60. This is an equilateral triangle. So then angle C would be equal to 60. Problem 4. The chair. It says measure of angle 2 is 71, so I'm going to draw that in. Measure of angle 3 is 43. Find the measure of angle 1. There's two ways you could do this. You could use the fact that this right here is a triangle, figure out what this angle is, and then subtract it because this is a straight angle. Or you could do, because this is the exterior angle in this triangle, that 71 plus 43 will be equal to angle 1. So 71 plus 43 would be equal to 114. So that's A as an apple. Now, when you're doing these problems, I don't care what you do it as long as you have the right answer. So if you didn't do it that way, you could still be able to have it right. That's fine by me. And last but not least, which equation matches the following graph? Well, there's a couple of things I can do here. These are all in slope-intercept form. So here's my slope, here's my y-intercept. Now when I'm looking at my y-intercept, one thing I'm going to be noticing is that it's in between negative, here's negative 1, negative 2, it's in between negative 2 and negative 3. So that means I for sure know it can't be this one because that's at negative 3. It should be in between negative 2 and negative 3. Well, this is negative, if I were to write out these, if you're not sure, this is negative 1.6 repeating. That's not in between negative 2 and negative 3. This is at negative 2.6 repeating, so it could be that one. And this one is 0.6 repeating, negative 0.6 repeating. So just by looking at that, that would tell me what it is. Let's say if you're not sure by the y-intercept, or if there was two y-intercepts that were the same, then you would have to find the slope. Either from this point or from this point, it doesn't matter. You want to do your rise over run. So here from this point, my rise is 1, 2, so I'm going up 2, and I'm going left, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I moved to the left here, so that would be a negative 9. So this would give me a positive 2 over negative 9. That's the same thing as negative 2 ninths. You could have done it the other way, starting at negative 3, negative 2. That would give you down 2 right here. So that would give you the negative 2, and then counting over, this would give you a positive 9, which is still negative 2 over 9. And again, when you're looking at that, if you did that one first, it would have been one of these two. But because of that y-intercept, we already know that it was C as in cats. There you go. Have a wonderful day.